Hello, this is a short video explaining to new clinicians the full surgical and restorative freehand kit for the Prama implant system. The unique features of this kit are that it will allow you to place all variations of the Prama system. So we have the cylindrical fixture, the tapered fixture, the slim and the shorty, and also to restore. So it's all in one. There are stoppers available with the drill, so you have the option to either use the markings for depth or have the predetermined stop. There we go. So this is a short video for the surgical sequence for placing Prama fixtures. The way I like to think about this kit is essentially it comprises of 4 sections. We have the black and white section here, which is for starting the osteotomy. These drills will be used regardless of the morphology of the fixture we're placing. We will then move on to final drills. We have the section here for the final drills for the cylindrical fixtures, so either Prama or Prama Slim. And we have the tapered section, the Prama RF section, for the root form and the root form SL. So a workflow traditionally will have the black and white section, and then if we're placing cylindrical Prama, if we're placing tapered, the Prama RF section. The end section is entirely for restorative, implant insertion, and then adapters as well. The workflow for the kit is always from left to right. We would start at the top here with a precision drill, a small lance burr only going to go a few millimeters into the bone. We then go to the white column where we can take our pilot drill, which has markings on it at predetermined depths, so we can use to create the right depth of osteotomy, or we can attach the given stoppers of the same column. This one at the top is for 8.5 millimeters depth. They click on with the rigid end first, and you'll hear a click, which allows you to create an osteotomy that is exactly 8.5. We would then move on to one of the interim drills. There is an interim drill which is cylindrical in its morphology, and the root form interim which is tapered. Now, depending on our workflow, this is the first time when we differentiate between cylindrical or tapered. Cylindrical would use the interim, root form would use this one, and then again potentially with either using the markings or having the stop to predetermine where the depth for osteotomy. If we were then going to place cylindrical, for example, we would then move through the final drills following the same protocol, either going to the depth on the drills or using the stoppers until we get to our desired width. If we were placing a root form fixture, we would do the exact same. We would use the correct drill and move up until we got to our desired width. That's it for the surgical. This video is looking into the final surgical aspects and restorative section for placing Prama fixtures. With our initial drills, the drill speeds vary from around about 900 to 1100. Once we've created our initial osteotomy, we have the option of some extra drills if we are in very dense bone. We have bone taps, which should be used at incredibly low drilling speed, around about 20 RPM. We have cylindrical options, obviously for your desired width. And we have the tapered ones, again, one for each width. They are insanely cutting, so it's good to use these, as I said, around about 20 RPM. We then also have the option of a countersink. Essentially helps to profile the cortical. We have one for each width. These can be used slightly faster, but still around about 300 RPM or so, just to safely help mash the cortical up slightly and help guide your fixture in. Once we are ready to insert our implant, we can move over fully to the restorative section, and we follow from top to bottom. We start with the insertion tools, and we have the option for a motor but short, a motor and long, and then one directly for the torque ratchet as well. Once our implant has been placed into the bone using our desired method, we then can use a number of these 6 screwdrivers. Normally for this section will be just a hand screwdriver, to add either a cover screw, a temporary or a healing abutment onto the fixture for our day of surgery. If required, we have a section here for extensions and adapters. If, for example, you have an issue with adjacent teeth and a short drill, for example, you can utilize this to elongate the drill to make sure there's no contact with the adjacent teeth. It also will allow you to adapt certain features. For example, if you had a bone tap, but you wanted to use the torque ratchet to actually implement the cutting, you can adapt a drill piece in order to fit the torque ratchet here. Lastly, with the torque ratchet, in order to change the NCM in which it delivers, we can turn anti-clockwise in order to reduce, or clockwise in order to increase the NCM up to a maximum of 70. Alongside this as well, when we are hand tightening cover screws, we are looking to achieve around about 8 to 10 NCM. When we are tightening our final crowns, we tend to use a screwdriver which we can adapt onto the torque ratchet, and we can deliver exactly 25 NCM to allow us to safely and sturdily tighten our implant crown.